Let's jump right into this explainer. We're tackling those massive, explosive social media rumors surrounding the 2026 World Cup final. You know, when the biggest stage in global sports ends in controversy, the internet absolutely goes into overdrive. We're talking millions of eyes watching, unimaginable pressure, and when things end in a way people just don't expect, well, the theories immediately start flying. Today, we're putting on our detective hats. We're going to tune out that algorithmic frenzy and figure out exactly what's fact and what's pure fiction.
So let's start with the massive, staggering question that literally took the internet by storm right after the final whistle. Were Argentina actually threatened before kickoff and pressured not to win? I mean, that is a wildly heavy accusation to throw around about a World Cup final, suggesting the pinnacle of international football was somehow rigged or externally influenced? That requires a totally objective look at the data.
But hey, before we get completely swept up in those wild online theories, let's establish a baseline. The facts. What actually happened. In this explainer, we always want to build our understanding from the ground up, right? In today's digital age, it is incredibly tough to find reality when the algorithm is just shoving an absolute tornado of rumors right into our feeds. We've got to isolate the actual game from the massive whirlwind of stories that followed it.
Let's start with the one indisputable historical outcome on the pitch. 1-0. A grueling, hard-fought victory for Spain over Argentina. That right there is our anchor of reality. Millions of fans watched it happen live. Just think about the contrasting emotions for a second. You had the sheer crushing heartbreak of the Argentine fans carrying the expectations of a completely football-obsessed nation, right up against the absolute elation of the Spanish fans. Ultimately, the whole shebang was decided by a single, definitive goal.
Tracing the timeline of that day gives us a super clear picture of how things escalated. At 0 minutes, the expectations at kickoff were just intense. The weight of the world was literally on these players' shoulders. Fast forward to 90 minutes, the final whistle blows and Argentina loses 1-0. But, as we know, the story didn't end on the pitch. By 120 minutes, while Spain was celebrating, post-match tensions absolutely exploded. We're talking shouting matches and controversial physical clashes behind the scenes. And that directly led to a very real, official FIFA investigation opening up within 48 hours to look into those specific altercations between the players.
Okay, so that real-life FIFA investigation into the post-match clashes, that is exactly where this story gets complicated and where the internet completely takes over. People immediately started asking questions. They were looking for a deeper meaning. Was it really just the bitter frustration of losing on the world's biggest stage boiling over? Or were unseen forces pulling the strings? The mystery deepened, and this shadow of suspicion just covered the entire match. Let's look at the conspiracy theories. Social media basically exploded with these specific, unverified claims. The core rumors insisted that external forces compromised the Argentine players before they even stepped out of the tunnel. First, rumors claimed players faced direct physical or psychological threats before the match. Second, there was a massive claim that the team was deliberately pressured to throw the game entirely. And the third, maybe the strangest theory of them all, was that a mysterious, unusual pre-match doping test had somehow compromised the players' physical or mental state right before kickoff. These stories spread like absolute wildfire, way faster than any official statement ever could.
So here is the crucial point. We absolutely must compare these viral claims against actual, documented evidence, separating fact from fiction. We can't just accept a viral post as truth just because it has a million retweets, right? We need to weigh the heat of a smartphone rumor directly against cold, hard, certified documents from the governing bodies. Fake news travels at the speed of light, for sure. But the truth? Well, that requires some careful measurement.
Let's dismantle these rumors piece by piece, starting with the claim about that unusual doping test supposedly throwing the players off. The fact? Reality tells a totally different story. FIFA went on the record maintaining that all medical procedures followed strictly normal, standard tournament protocols. There was no secret syringe, no deviation from the rules, and no strange timing. The medical checks were completely routine for a match of this magnitude. Now, what about the claim that the team was pressured and threatened? Notice the massive gap between the megaphone of online rumors and the actual official record. Despite the internet screaming about intimidation, the fact is Argentina's delegation filed absolutely zero objections or complaints. Zero. Nothing about the medical tests and not a single word about any threats. Think about it. If a team at a World Cup final was genuinely threatened, you'd expect an immediate official grievance with the highest authorities, right? But the record? Completely blank. Look, we've all been there. When things don't go our way, whether in sports or just in life, it's human nature to look for an excuse. A strange moment, a highly emotional post-match scene, or a disappointing performance can so easily create suspicion in the minds of passionate fans. But we have to remember that suspicion alone is not proof. It doesn't equal credible evidence. Just because a team didn't play as expected doesn't automatically mean there was some grand, shadowy conspiracy against them.
This reality check is perfectly summed up by former Argentina striker Mario Kempes. He publicly urged fans, saying, "Do not believe baseless rumors surrounding the team's defeat." And we really need to remember who is speaking here. Kempes isn't just some random official. He is a legendary World Cup winning striker. His words carry immense emotional weight in Argentina. When a national hero tells you to focus on the reality of the defeat and put the baseless rumors to bed, well, that adds a massive layer of credibility to the facts over the fiction.
Okay, so the investigation is closed. What is our final verdict? When we clear away all that social media noise, this is what we actually know. We are left with only 4 definitive facts. 1. Argentina lost the final to Spain 1-0. 2. Highly emotional, controversial post-match scenes did occur. 3. FIFA officially investigated those post-match incidents. And 4, which is basically the nail in the coffin for the internet rumors, there is 0 verified evidence of any pre-match threats or orders to lose. None. So it boils down to the rumor of a proven conspiracy versus the reality of a football defeat surrounded by rumors. All the current evidence clearly points toward a painful football defeat that got amplified by rumors rather than some vast, proven conspiracy orchestrated in the shadows. Honestly, think about why these rumors even happen. Psychologically, conspiracy theories can be incredibly comforting to passionate supporters. It's just so much easier for a diehard fan to believe a vast shadow conspiracy robbed them of glory rather than accepting that their heroes just had a bad day and got beaten fairly. It was a tough loss, and that bred wild, comforting speculation.
At the end of the day, a claim is not a fact. No matter how viral these stories get, no matter how many likes a post gets, or how many times a rumor is retweeted in an echo chamber, a claim is not a fact until it passes through the magnifying glass of proof. Because the truth relies on evidence, these stories absolutely have to remain categorized simply as claims until real, tangible proof appears. It's so vital for our media literacy to recognize that sharp difference between a comforting claim and a hard fact.
But you know, it does leave us with one final fascinating question to ponder as we wrap up this explainer. Was Argentina simply beaten by a better team on the day? Or is there another part of the story not yet revealed, some missing piece of evidence still waiting in the dark? Well, until that evidence actually appears, the history books are only going to say 1-0. Keep questioning what you read out there, stay curious, and thanks for joining me today.